So my name is Sadhbh Joyce and I am a psychologist and the co-founder of Mind Coach. So Mind Coach is an online resilience training program which comprises 10 short interactive sessions, and you can access the program any time or anywhere because it's available on smartphone, tablet and computer. You can download most of the mindfulness skills that are in the program, so even if you're offline, you are able to practice the skills anytime you want to. And our aim was to not only make it quite interactive, so there's a lot of fun animation in it, but to inject a little bit of humour into the process of learning these skills of mindfulness and cognitive strategies that can bolster your psychological resilience. And have a little bit of fun along the way, because a lot of this training in mental health sometimes can be really serious and can feel very heavy, but it needn't be. It can be a really interesting way of gaining greater awareness of how our minds work and how we can nurture and protect our own psychological health and well-being. We also have a curated library of resources which we continually update most weeks, and this is called our brain food section. And within it we have book recommendations and additional mindfulness tracks and interesting articles on various resilience resources and topics. And what we're aiming to do with the brain food section is really bring home the message that resilience is not something that we're born with. It's something that we need to consider as a skill that we can develop and nurture over time. And so by continually updating Raw, we want to engage with the learners and the people who are doing the program in an ongoing dialogue about their own well-being, their own mental health and their own resiliency, and that it's okay to take time out to nurture it, that you shouldn't just be able to go out there and put up with things, that there are going to be times in life where we need to pause and we need to look after ourselves, and that we might need to refresh these skills or maybe even learn some new skills, and that that's okay. I've relied greatly on the generosity of certain people really supporting me in getting this off the ground, including my PhD supervisor, Associate Professor Samuel Harvey, my wonderful husband and co-founder Jamie Watson, who really provided a lot of insight into creating language that is really accessible to people when they're learning these types of psychological skills. We have a universal version that has been developed for any kind of workplace, and the second that was really tailored for New South Wales Ambulance. And we worked with the psychologists and the mental health team within New South Wales Ambulance very closely to kind of flesh out what needed to be addressed in the program, specifically to support their paramedics and all of their staff. So New South Wales Ambulance have now made Mind Coach mandatory training for all their paramedics, and so far they've had 1,500 of their staff complete the Mind Coach training, and have had really wonderful feedback in terms of how it's supporting their staff in building overall psychological resilience and well-being. The aim over the next year or so is to ensure that all 5,000 of the staff complete this training, and that the program will be available to them on an ongoing basis, so they can go back into the program and access the skills and refresh them. Certain roles do have a lot of stress and challenges, and sometimes that can be quite obvious, but there's a lot of other roles out there, such as maybe even teachers or care workers, where the job is actually very stressful, and we need to become, I think, a little bit more responsible in terms of how we look after people when they're working, considering we spend most of our time at work. So the more we can look after the well-being of employees, the greater their overall health, and essentially their greater ability to honour their own values and live a productive, healthy, fulfilling life.